Hello everyone, this is Connie and welcome to my channel. This is just a gentle reminder. This is not an AI journal, but I do generate AI images. So sit back and enjoy your forecast for Taurus in the month of June 2026. So with Taurus Rising, June 2026 feels like the moment you stop emotionally negotiating with yourself. You may find yourself looking at people differently this month, not because they've changed overnight, but because you finally see the emotional pattern clearly. Who only comes close when they need reassurance? Who disappears when things become emotionally serious? And who respects your calmness? And who mistakes it for weakness? So with Mars now moving through your first house in Taurus, something inside you becomes firmer. You are no longer willing to emotionally exhaust yourself, proving your loyalty, your value, or your patience. So quite honestly, Taurus Rising, people are going to feel that shift immediately. So looking at your chart, this month is heavily focused on your first house, second, and third. The biggest planetary influences are Mars in Taurus in your first, Sun in Gemini in your second, Mercury in Cancer in your third, Venus in Cancer in your third, Jupiter in Cancer in your third, and the Moon in Sagittarius in your 8th house. So this is quite a psychological month. Mars in your first house will make you sort of more visible, more assertive, more emotionally reactive when pushed too far. But because you are Taurus Rising, your reactions are rarely impulsive. Instead, this looks like becoming emotionally colder after repeated disappointments, pulling your energy back quietly, speaking more directly, becoming less available to draining people, and protecting your time more freely. The Sun in your second house places enormous focus on self-worth and finances. So you're thinking seriously about money, stability, personal security, emotional value. Whether your effort is being appreciated, that's very important to you. And because Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter are all in your third house, communication becomes one of the defining themes of June. So conversations matter this month. One message could completely change how you see someone. One late-night conversation could become emotionally unforgettable. And some Taurus Rising may realize that emotional intimacy now matters more than physical attraction alone. So when we look at energy and identity, Mars in Taurus in the first house gives you physical presence this month. So you may want to change your appearance, become more disciplined physically, improve your wardrobe, focus on health, or become more selective socially. Emotionally, you are becoming less tolerant of inconsistency. This is especially true with communication. So because Cancer planets in your third house make you highly emotional and perceptive now, you will notice tone changes, delayed replies, emotional distance, passive-aggressive behavior, people avoiding difficult conversations. And unlike previous months, you may no longer ignore it. There is also emotional nostalgia around you, and old memories return. You may revisit old conversations, familiar places, maybe music connected to someone, emotional memories you thought you had moved beyond. But this feels less like emotional regression and more like emotional clarity. Okay, so around love and relationships, this is one of the strongest emotional attraction months you have had for quite some time. So not because attraction feels dramatic, but because it does feel emotionally safe. So Venus and Jupiter together in Cancer in your third house create intimacy through conversation. It's not superficial attraction, so you are drawn towards emotional intelligence, warmth, attentiveness, consistency, subtle chemistry, and emotional calmness. You may meet somebody, and you're likely to, through daily routines, more quiet settings like a cafe, or relationships, siblings or neighbors or friends. There could be a meet during a sort of travel situation, but even through work communication. The strongest periods for meeting someone are the June the 7th to the 10th, June the 14th to the 18th, and June the 24th to the 26th. And this person may initially appear reserved or emotionally calm. They may have a sort of soft but observant energy, intelligent conversation, quite a comforting voice, emotional maturity, and a sort of quiet confidence to them. And Taurus Rising, what they notice about you immediately is your steadiness. You feel emotionally grounded to people this month, especially with Mars in Taurus giving you sensual magnetism without needing attention-seeking behavior. So there's a strong chemistry for eye contact, conversation, humor, emotional understanding, and feeling emotionally comfortable quite quickly. But, always pace matters because Cancer energy can create emotional attachment before true consistency is proven. So do not emotionally romanticize potential too quickly and watch actions carefully. Now, if you're in a relationship, so if you're at couples, June brings an emotionally important conversation. Not necessarily arguments, but clarifying conversations. The type where someone finally admits they feel emotionally disconnected, they need more reassurance, they feel unsupported, or they want more emotional presence. And because the third house is activated, communication becomes everything. Some couples reconnect beautifully this month through honesty. Others realize they have been emotionally avoiding important truths maybe for too long. So your best dates for romance and reconnection is June the 8th, June the 15th, and June the 24th. And it's beautiful for emotional intimacy, meaningful for conversations, romantic evenings, and a quite emotional closeness. The most emotionally difficult days for you are going to be June the 11th to the 12th and June the 20th to the 21st. And these dates could bring some stubborn silences, emotional withdrawal, frustrations, sensitivity to tone or criticism. So do not expect people to read your silence correctly this month. Speak clearly. So we come to money and finances and the sun moving through your second house places major attention on financial stability. So Taurus Rising may reorganize finances, budget more carefully, increase prices or rates, even take on additional work. So focus on long-term financial planning. Emotionally, though, spending becomes connected to comfort. So you may spend on some home comfort, luxury items, that kind of thing. Some of you become emotionally tired of financially carrying others, so this month pushes you towards healthier boundaries around giving. So around career and daily life, work is going to become mentally busy. The third house emphasizes, it sort of creates constant messaging, meetings, paperwork, increased travel, or commuting, and also multitasking. You may feel a little bit mentally stretched at times, especially because Mars in the first house can make you push yourself too hard physically. So watch the things like neck tensions, headaches, burnout, disrupted sleep, or just feeling emotionally fatigued. Professionally, this is excellent for writing, teaching, speaking, content creating, counseling, etc. The Taurus Rising building online platforms should see increased audience trust this month because your communication feels emotionally authentic rather than overly polished. So people do trust sincerity. So when we look at your lucky dates, we're looking at June the 7th to the 10th. And this is excellent for attraction, visibility, confidence, sort of financial opportunities and important conversations. Around June the 14th to the 18th, you've got deep emotional clarity there. So it's powerful for relationship conversations, reconnecting emotionally, healing, and sort of meaningful romantic connection there. You've got June 24th to the 26th, and this is really strong for money decisions, networking, agreements, creative work. emotionally important conversations. Your words hold influence here. Your challenging dates. June the 11th to the 12th, it's emotionally sort of defensive energy. Someone may test your patience, but avoid shutting down emotionally. So June the 20th to the 21st, there shows mental overload or some sort of emotional exhaustion here. Reduce noise, rest properly, and protect your nervous system. Your lucky color this month is champagne pink, and it reflects emotional softness, quiet confidence, romance, and self-worth. Champagne pink helps soften the emotional defensive while still maintaining elegance and strength. So wear it during romantic evenings, important conversation, or moments where you want to feel both emotionally open and quietly powerful. Your lucky crystal for this month is rose quartz. This crystal supports emotional healing, self-worth, softness, and heart-centered connection. So, much emotional intensity moving through your chart this month. Rose quartz helps Taurus Rising to stay emotionally open without absorbing everybody else's energy. So keep a rose quartz near you during important conversations, romantic dates, journaling, sleep, or any time you need to reconnect with emotional peace instead of emotional pressure. So your lucky number for this month is 24. So this number reflects emotional security, meaning, connection, and building something lasting over time. With Jupiter sitting at 24 degrees of Cancer in your third house, this number carries powerful energy around communication, emotional clarity, relationships, and supportive connections. You may notice this number appearing around important conversations, dates, decisions, receipts, addresses, timings, or moments where emotional understanding suddenly becomes very clear. So your tarot card for this month is the Temperance card. This is one of the most beautiful but misunderstood cards in the tarot because temperance is not passive, it is emotional mastery. With Mars moving through your first house, emotions can become intense very quickly this month. So you may feel moments where frustration rises fast, especially with inconsistent people, emotional confusion, or situations where you feel your effort is not being respected. So this month, balance becomes power, not emotional suppression, not pretending everything is fine, but learning how to respond instead of emotionally reacting. Some Taurus Rising will notice that there is emotional exhaustion from constantly swinging between giving too much then withdrawing, patience and resentment, or emotional openness and emotional shutdown. So for singles, temperance brings slower, healthier attraction. It's not chaotic chemistry. This is the kind of connection where conversation flows naturally, emotionally safety builds, trust develops, and you feel calmer around the person instead of emotionally anxious. You may notice yourself becoming less attracted to emotionally unavailable people this month. For couples, temperance is asking for emotional recalibration. Some relationships need softer communication, others need healthier boundaries. So the final message for Taurus this month, June 2026, is not asking you to become harder. It's asking you to become clearer about what you value, your emotional standards, your energy, your boundaries, who genuinely shows up for you. By the end of this month, many of you will feel emotionally stronger, not because life became easier, but because you finally stopped abandoning yourself emotionally for the comfort of others. If this forecast resonated with you, let me know in the comments what part of June you are already feeling most strongly. And please like and subscribe to my channel for more astrology forecasts for every sign. And thanks for watching. This is Connie J.